Are you sitting at home right now because you are quarantined or self-quarantining yourself or whatever it may be? Well, guess what? It's okay. We can get through this together by especially binge watching a lot of movies and a lot of television. And if you don't know what to binge watch, well, don't worry. Don't fret, friend. I am here for you to tell you what you should be binge watching right now. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Hit List. I am in possession of gold right now. I have the toilet paper. But enough of that. Okay, let me get some honorable mentions out of the way because these are some things that I really love and I would most likely find myself binge watching, but because it's talk about these three things in particular so much on the channel, I don't want people thinking that, oh, naturally this list is going to be number one, number two, number three, these things. So I'm going to go ahead and get these out of the way as honorable mentions, even though technically they probably would be at the top of my list. One of my honorable mentions is any Arrowverse TV show would make a great thing to binge watch. I mean, you got Arrow, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, Batwoman. I mean, you got all these shows with Stargirl coming out, and also hopefully they'll pick up Green Arrow and the Canaries as well. You know, Arrow went off the air, but you can still binge watch 8 seasons of that, 8 amazing seasons of that. It's a great universe to binge watch, and there's so much to watch, so you never really get bored with it. At least I wouldn't. Another thing to binge watch is any John Wayne movies. I mean, any John Wayne movies, I would love to just binge watch that. I used to a lot when I had more free time, but if you only could watch one of them and you're binge watching movies, El Dorado definitely would be the one to watch. Any Marvel movies as well. I mean, you know, especially if you got the time, might as well start with Iron Man and work your way all the way up to Spider-Man Far From Home and do all 23 of the Infinity Saga. That'd be really cool to be able to just sit back and watch them all. The Boys on Amazon Prime. It's a very good show. It's an honorable mention just because of the fact that there's only 8 episodes right now. They haven't released season 2 yet. That's my only beef with it would be that. Bonanza. I love Bonanza. Growing up on Bonanza is such a great show. You know, there was 14 seasons of it, and if you have all 14 seasons, what a great thing to binge watch. I mean, it would just be amazing to be able to binge watch all 14 seasons, or at least a good portion of that show. I never get sick of it, and there was always like 30-something episodes a season, so you got a lot of episodes to watch. I mean, you never really run out. If you do run out, then there's other things to binge watch as well. Alright, so those are my honorable mentions. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get to this list of my top 10 things to binge watch during quarantine. And if you're not quarantined, if you're watching this after the whole virus thing that we can't talk about on YouTube, then you could just binge watch these anytime or watch them anytime because they make great stuff to watch and binge watch. I love every single one of these things that I'm talking about to you today. Alright, coming in at number 10 is the Jason Bourne movies. Now, there are 4 movies that they have made of this, so it makes great time to just watch them all. You know, you should be able to watch them all during this whole quarantine time, but it's not like it's so few that you only watch like 2 movies and that's it. You got 4 movies and they're all great, and start with The Bourne Identity and finish with Jason Bourne. Don't try to watch 3 without watching 1 or 2 because you will be completely lost. I've had people tell me like, oh, I watched The Bourne Ultimatum and I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Well, have you watched The Bourne Identity or The Bourne Supremacy? No. I suggest going back and watching those 2 movies first because otherwise, no, you won't get it. So, and also I'm sure a lot of people watched the newest one, Jason Bourne. It was the same thing, like, I don't get what's going on here. They really need to explain stuff. Well, maybe you should watch the 4 previous movies and you'd get it. But yeah, any of the Jason Bourne movies are great movies, but watch them all in a row. Watch them all in a row. And if you only can watch one, watch the first one, so that way at least you know what's going on. And The Bourne Identity is just such a classic movie. It's so great. Watch it. You should watch it. Number 9 is any Mel Gibson movies. Now, Mel Gibson has so many great movies that you could watch. I mean, I love Mel Gibson. And if you only can watch one or whatever, I would stick with the Lethal Weapon franchise. You know, they have 4 of those. They make great movies. I know Mel Gibson hasn't always done the best things in real life, but I think he's trying to get better. And someone that's dealing with mental health issues, you know, we can't really exactly look down on him too much. We can say, yeah, what he did was wrong on some things he did, but it doesn't make him a bad person. You know, he's trying to get better and he's doing better out there. So I love Mel Gibson. I think he's a great guy. He's made mistakes, absolutely. But even if he was a horrible person and still is a horrible person, which I don't think he is, you got to try to separate the art from the person. And his art that he has created throughout the years have been amazing. Lethal Weapon movies, Braveheart, Ransom, Payback. I mean, there's just the list goes on and on and on. And as his directorial movies as well, like Hacksaw Ridge, great movies. I mean, these are great movies. You guys should really watch some Mel Gibson movies during these quarantine times. I mean that literally. Number 8. Number 8 is James Bond 007 movies. What makes this so great is that James Bond has different eras. I mean, you got the Sean Connery era, you got the Roger Moore, you got the Pierce Brosnan, the Daniel Craig, the one movie George Lazenby or whatever his name did, and you know, the 2 Timothy Dalton movies. Those 3 movies, you know, you don't necessarily have to watch if you don't want to because they weren't the best, but any of the other 4 guys did amazing in all of them, especially Pierce Brosnan. Especially Pierce Brosnan. And anyone says that Pierce Brosnan is not the best Bond, you just don't know what you're talking about, Sin. You just don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, what makes Bond so great is that you could binge watch them from the beginning to the end, watch all 24 movies as we get ready for this 25th movie, which is Daniel Craig's last movie as James Bond, coming out in April. But we can watch all 24 of the movies that are out right now, from Dr. No to Spectre, or you could also just watch them in eras. I mean, I want to watch all the Sean Connery Bonds right now. You watch all 6, including the 7th one that wasn't technically a part of the franchise, Never Say Never Again. Or you could watch all 7 of Roger Moore movies, the 2 Timothy Dalton movies, the 1 George Lazenby movie, the 4 Pierce Brosnan movies, and the 4 Daniel Craig movies, with his 5th one coming out. I mean, there's so many options of how you want to watch it, and you can watch all the Pierce Brosnan movies, then go back and watch all the Roger Moore movies, and not necessarily get mixed up because there's not that much story consistency with the movies all the way through. Number 7 is the Fast and Furious movies. Now, if you could watch from the Fast and Furious to Hobbs and Shaw, which is the latest one that's out right now, that would be a great thing to binge watch, especially as we get ready for Fast and Furious 9. That's supposed to come out next month. Hopefully it does, you know, with this whole virus thing going around. I really want to know, what are the theatrical releases going to be like for next coming months? It's scary to think about, but hopefully it comes out next month. Hopefully this whole pandemic is, you know, pretty much, it's probably not going to be over, but hopefully it's died down enough to where we can start being out there in the public more by next month. But we'll see how that goes. But man, the Fast and Furious movies, I love them all. And if you can only watch one, there's 3 that come to mind that if you could only watch one. The original, the Fast and Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, which is the second one, and Furious 7 are my 3 top favorites, and not necessarily in that order. Furious 7 is extremely sad, but I love that movie so much. Yeah. The Fast and Furious, man. Great times, great times. And if you don't like how unrealistic some of the stuff is, it's a f***ing movie. Get over it, okay? Get over it. They're great movies. They're so entertaining to watch. Just enjoy it for what it is, okay? It's not supposed to be realistic. You know, cars jumping out of planes isn't supposed to be realistic. It's supposed to be about having fun, all right? Get over it. Number 6 is the Three Stooges. Now, the Three Stooges have so many shorts, as they would call them, because they were literally short films that would come out in theaters because there wasn't no such thing as televisions back in the 30s, 40s. They literally would release in theaters, and that's why in 1955 was their last year, because televisions were becoming so popular that people weren't going to watch short films in theaters anymore. So that, along with the fact that, you know, Joe wasn't the best stooge at all, and when Curly unfortunately passed away, so did Shemp, there wasn't, you know, there wasn't really much point to watch it after that. But yes, the Three Stooges, you can watch them all the way through. Is again, you can binge watch the Curly era, the Shemp era, the Joe era if you're into that, or you could also watch the movies that they did after the shorts ended with Curly Joe, which was a lot better than Joe. The best movie they did was The Outlaws Is Coming, which is so grammar incorrect, but they did it on purpose. And it was awesome to watch Adam West on that movie with them. It was just such a funny and cool movie to watch. But if you could only watch one era of the Three Stooges, watch the Curly era. It is the best era they ever had. Alright, number 5 is a movie. Now, all these things I'm talking about is stuff you should be binge watching. This is one movie that came out. And I know it's like, how are you going to binge watch it? You can watch this movie over and over and over again, in my opinion. But at least watch this movie once during your quarantine time. Because this movie is classic. It came out the year I was born, in '94. And I can watch it over and over again. I'm talking about My Name's Forrest Gump. Now, number 5 is Forrest Gump. I realize I'm not sounding too much like him now that I'm on camera, but I love this movie because it's such a classic movie that I could watch over and over again. And I love to go to the bubblegum shrimp and eat bubblegum shrimp because not only does it remind me of Forrest Gump, it is good shrimp, it tastes so good, and I have a good time eating it. So, yeah, number 5, definitely Forrest Gump. Number 4 is any Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I mean, he has so many throughout his franchise. You know, from his older movies like Commando, Predator, and the Terminator movies. I mean, there's so many things you could binge watch with Arnold on it. But some of his, like, lesser known movies that he made when he, like, through the later years, like for instance Sabotage, such a great movie. The critics hated it, but I loved the movie. It was like a murder mystery. It turned into a murder mystery that no one saw coming from the trailers or the movie till a little later on in the movie. And it had twist into the plot. I mean, it was a solid movie that I don't know why critics panned it. I do know why, because critics suck and they're stupid as hell in my opinion. I love it. And I really recommend that you watch Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and if you only watch one, watch Sabotage. I think you'll love it. And The Last Stand, too. Damn, such a good movie. He's got so many good movies. Watch his movies, guys. Coming at you, number 3. Now, we just talked about Arnold. We got to talk about the guy that's just a little bit better than Arnold. Sorry, Arnold. You're a great guy. But the guy that is just a little bit better in his films is the one, the only, Sylvester Stallone. Sly Stallone. The Italian Stallion. Rambo, Rocky. All those good things. You've got to watch Sylvester Stallone movies. I mean, there's so many things you can binge watch of his. Rocky, Rambo, and then The Expendables, Escape Plan. He has so many different franchises that is unbelievable, and they're all amazing. And if you could only watch one film that's not a part of a franchise, I'm going to go back into the 80s and say a movie that he did called Cobra. I mean, this was a movie that he had to deal with this cult that was going around killing people, trying to cleanse the earth. And it was going around murdering people, and he had to wipe out the people in the cult. Movies like that haven't really been done to that extent before that movie came out. And it was just such a great movie. Really entertaining. Some of the lines in there is like, "You're the disease, and I'm the cure." You know, it's just, you gotta love it. You gotta love those cringe-worthy lines that I just love so much. So yeah, if you can only watch one Sylvester Stallone movie, watch any of the Rocky or Rambos, but if it's one that's not a part of a franchise, I would go with Cobra. Cobra's a great movie. Alright, coming at number 2 is a TV show that lasted 8 seasons. Then it had a special TV movie in between seasons 6 and 7. It was a 2-hour movie called Redemption. Then it had a special 12-episode miniseries after the 8th season, which was called Live Another Day. Then it had a special 12-episode mini-season called Legacy, which unfortunately did not have Kiefer Sutherland as Jack Bauer on there. So yeah, I'm talking about 24. It is an amazing show that has so many great plot lines on there, and during times like this, it may not seem like the best time to watch it, but then again, also is if you have a sick mind. because every season deals with some sort of global pandemic, of some sort of like terrorist attack or some sort of like biological weapon or nuclear weapon or some sort of virus going around. So perfect thing to watch during times like this, a show like that. So yeah, 24 was just so amazing. It's again one of those shows you got to watch from the beginning and watch it all the way through. You can't just start on a season and expect to know what's going on. If you have seen 24 already and you know what it is and you're just curious about what season you should go back on and watch, I would say either seasons 1, 2, 3, 6, or 8. I mean, they're all great seasons, so it's hard to choose. You know, go start back at number 1. Start back at number 1. It was a great season. You know, it wasn't really talking about a virus and everything. It was about a presidential assassination attempt that was going on. So, yeah, start with number 1. Start with season number 1. It was great. It was a great season, and every season was great. Legacy was the weakest one. That was just because it didn't have Jack Bauer on it. But even that was pretty good. It was pretty good. All right, coming at number 1, we are talking about the thing that you should be binge watching from the beginning to the end, including the TV movie that was in between seasons 4 and 5. I am talking about the one, the only, Burn Notice. Now, I love this show so much. I grew up watching this show from the beginning in 2007 to the end in 2013. All 7 seasons, including the TV movie that came out between seasons 4 and 5, as I just explained earlier. And I was actually able to go to Miami and see the sites, some of the sites that they filmed. For instance, the wall. I got to stand by the wall, which was amazing. You got to sit down where on that AC vent thing that Bruce Campbell's character Sam Axe was sitting down on, where he was making a Bloody Mary. And the hotel that they're looking out on, that scene on the pilot episode, my dad actually got to work on for the wiring on there, which was very cool. You know, he got actually helped with electrical rewiring that hotel. So it was just so cool to be able to do that. Got to go to, it was all in a place called Bayside. It was the part of Miami. Got to go to the Bayside Mall, which was also featured on the show a bunch of times. And, you know, it was really cool to be able to see all those different things that I grew up watching on Burn Notice and got to actually experience the location myself. It was definitely an unbelievable experience that I would like to have again. You know, that was in 2012 when I actually got to go there. So here we are in 2020, 8 years later. I would like to go back. That'd be very cool, and see what it looks like now and kind of re-experience some of those memories. And, you know, yeah. Oh boy. Burn Notice. It's a great show. Each episode he's trying to help out somebody, you know, with a different client, different case, all along trying to figure out who burned him as a spy, you know, who got him fired, who got him blacklisted. It's just such a great show to watch. It's got Jeffrey Donovan, Bruce Campbell, Gabrielle Onward, Sharon Glass. I mean, it's a perfect lineup of actors and actresses and just great characters. Matt Nix did a great job creating these characters. Absolutely love the show. And thank you guys very much for making that show and making it as amazing as you did for the 7 seasons that you did. And it almost didn't have the 7th season. I'm glad it did, because they were the studio where they were at was supposed to do construction and tear down, but they was able to convince the city to let them do one more season. So I'm glad they was able to do that last season, because that last season was a great way to end the show. Burn Notice. Watch it all the way through. And if you can only watch one season, you know, and again, you've seen it before, because you'll be lost if you only start with one season, I would say season 3 would probably be one of my favorites. Season 2 or season 3 probably one of my favorites. But start at season 1, watch it all the way through. You're gonna love it. It's an amazing show. It's just fantastic. I keep saying the same thing, I feel like, but it's just because it's true. It's just because it's true. They're fantastic shows and movies that I've talked about to you today. So there you have it, folks. That is my top 10 list of things you should be binge watching during quarantine at this time. And if you guys do me a favor, if you was to just like, you know, check out all this stuff right here. I got my Twitter, my Instagram, my Facebook, my Patreon, all that stuff talking about right now. Links are in the description of how to get there and all that good stuff. Follow me on all the social medias and all that good stuff. Also, if you was to go over here, sorry, I'm sliding in a chair, don't do this at home. If you was to go over here, you'll see this right here talking about my podcast, the Dallas Screamers Show podcast. It's available on these platforms and much more. Pretty much any platform that you can think of, I'm available on, all the major ones. I haven't had an episode in a few weeks. I plan on doing another one soon. Sorry about that. I was actually going to do a podcast instead of a video this week, but then I remembered that I promised this video for this week, so I had to get this video done. So, might not get a podcast this Monday coming up, but hopefully next Monday, very soon. I'm going to try to get on that to where I'm doing more podcasts, more videos. It's hard, but it is what it is. And because I'm not quarantined, and I'm here, doing this. I'm still doing my work schedule. I work at an essential store. I won't say the store name, but I can't, stay at home. I have to go to work still. It is kind of scary sometimes, but at the same time, I know it's going to be all right because I have the faith that it will be, and take the necessary precautions. That's always important. But yeah, we're going to all get through this together, guys. It's going to be okay. I know these are rough times and scary times, but wash your hands. The most important thing, be cautious. It'll be okay. We got this. And if you guys like, do me this favor. Right here's a video that YouTube thinks you'll like. Right here's a video that I think you'll like. Right here's the subscribe button. Watch all those things. Do all those things. Thank you guys very much for watching. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace out. I'll see y'all later. We'll get through this together. We always have. We always will. We're the strongest country in the world. The world is so strong as well. Not just this country. The world is so strong. So we're going to get through this. Thank you guys very much for watching. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace out. I'll see y'all later.